The following podcast contains opinions. If you don't like opinions, go suck a dick.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is Eli Copperman in the house, back with another episode of Eli's Thoughts. Everybody, I'd like you to meet my good friend, you've seen her before, Belle Ager.
Hi, I'm Belle. I'm Eli's cooler friend, and I've known Eli since we were like in 6th, 7th grade. And he's been bothering me ever since by forcing me to watch movies with him. And he's cool, and I like him.
Hey, you know me, the classic BFF. But with that said and done, I'm not doing this episode alone. Oh, no. I have a very special guest with me in addition to Belle. This one in particular. He is a fabulous femme fatale. Please welcome the one, the only, Brendan C., a.k.a. Agent Dior.
Hi everyone, I'm Brendan Creevy, aka Agent Dior. Put on agender, that's my gender identity. I'm a hairstylist and makeup artist based in the Central Jersey area, also a cosmetology student, and also a very good friend of Eli's. Me and him met when we were in acting camp together. He is a very creative person. I was just inspired by his creativity and his love for animation. And I bet he's gonna do really, really well one day in the future. See, that's how you do an introduction, bitch.
Okay, I've been shaded. All right.
That's what you get with me. You get shade, you get hate, you get just visceral anger.
I fucking quit!
But with that all said and done, you're probably wondering, why is Belle mentioning Sonic? Well, because we're going to talk about our thoughts on the Sonic trailer, but in addition, Brendan here has a very, very good theory about the response that this trailer had on not just social media, but our entire culture. Take it away, bitch!
So, okay. Tell me if I'm wrong. It seems to me that never has a movie had to, do such damage control right before it's even released due to backlash on social media. Yeah. Has that happened?
Ghostbusters.
Well, what has happened with Ghostbusters?
Well, with Ghostbusters, people were really, really annoyed that, there's going to be 4 female actors instead of the 4 male actors thing because of the whole beta male, oh my god, you can't have females playing the Ghostbusters.
But they didn't change.
So they didn't fix it or they didn't change it, but, they did have to do a lot of damage control with it.
Well, right, but, but, every work is going to face criticism. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the fact that a plethora, cacophony of tweets, of Instagram posts, on so many different social media platforms going out and saying, we hate the way Sonic looks. We just visceral hatred towards this trailer. Yeah. Never has a director gone on Twitter to say, hey, we hear you loud and clear. We're going to change this right before it's supposed to be released.
Truth be told, that is correct, and there have been films that have been dramatically altered before they're released, like the 2015 Fantastic Four film, or what's a good example? Even Disney's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs had to face some changes, and even the Black Cauldron at that. But the thing is, those films had to be delayed. Or if not delayed, then at the very least they happened a year before the film's release. Yeah. Not 7 to 6 months.
That, and also, it's the power of social media. We're now in this day and age where when a writer goes to pitch a script or when a producer goes to pitch a script, they are dealing with a lot of pressure from everyone else in their field. They're dealing with pressure from the producers, from the directors, from the actors, from the actresses, from the studio. They're dealing with the pressure from everyone else in their field. They're dealing with the pressure of trying to make a good film, trying to make a marketable film. And yes, do they worry about whether or not the audience like it? They do. They also have to worry about critics, whether or not they're going to agree with it or not, ratings. There's so much they already have to worry about. Now, as they have this added layer of people having this immediate way of communicating to you whether or not you like it via social media. And especially if the opinion is a popular one, it will garner many, many, many people that will send this same message out to you. So, and never really has this happened before, where it's the power of social media having a play on the filmmakers and their craft. It's beyond anything that's really happened. In the filmmaking, that is, this sort of thing has been coming up and being in other areas where, for me, not that I'm an expert, but I know a decent amount on the beauty community.
Oh yeah.
Especially, and the one person I'm going to be mentioning as an example and as a comparison is the beauty influencer James Charles. I mean, he's not that bad. Like, okay, so for those of you who don't know, what rock are you living under if you don't know James Charles at this point? He's sort of...
It's a big shiny rock.
Good God, what did I get myself into? Kidding. No, so James Charles is a social media influencer on both YouTube and Instagram with 16 million YouTube subscribers. He is arguably the most famous beauty influencer. And yes, he isn't a really well-liked person at this point in time due to some controversies that he's gotten into that he's not finding the greatest ability of getting out of. But for better or worse, I have to give credit where credit is due. I am assigned male at birth. I do identify as agender. That's just me. If you have a problem with it, go suck a dick. And I wear makeup and heels. And he's the one that really pushed the global envelope on whether or not men or different genders should be able to express femininely. And for him, I have to give him that credit. He's the one that really made that a statement. Yes, there are people like Jeffree Star who've been wearing makeup and being men in the media. There's been drag queens for centuries. Like, men have been wearing makeup historically, but he's the one that really made... He was the CoverGirl's first ever cover boy.
Yeah.
But I'm not here just to talk about James Charles. Yes, I have mentioned that he is a controversial figure. He has had controversy since the start of his career. I remember when he first tweeted about the Ebola thing, about when his class was going to go to Africa and he was afraid of getting Ebola. And what does he do? He is the queen of damage control. He will always go to Twitter, always go to social media, and always apologize and always try to right his wrongs.
And wrap it up with like a neat little bow.
Oh, sorry you feel that way.
No, not even.
Do that.
No, he's like, I am fully sorry for my ignorance. I fucked up.
I messed up. I'm sorry. I will try to do better in the future.
The queen of damage control.
He's really good at it. Mm-hmm. Like, really good. But like,
well, not right now. He's kind of fucking it up. He's fucking it up right now.
Not right now.
But
before, he was great at it.
But nevertheless, he's not just apologizing these things because he feels bad about it necessarily. He immediately sees that the audiences out there on social media are angry at him and are calling him out for this stuff. So he feels as though for the sake of his career and for the sake of his reputation, he has to apologize for it. It's similar to what's going on with the Sonic the Hedgehog trailer. It's not the only really major dissimilar thing is like, yes, people hate how ugly it is, but it's not saying trans men aren't men. Like, it's nothing insanely controversial. No. It's
I think the main problem with it is like they deviated from like the main plot of the game.
Well, not just that.
That's not what
No. The biggest problem with the Sonic trailer is that it literally is reminiscent of the Smurf movie, the Fat Albert movie,
it's very,
and even Enchanted, which is not a bad movie, but
I was getting there.
Go ahead.
What I'm saying is like they strayed away from like the point of the game, right? Which not only pissed people off to begin with, but then they like used their little template that they always use with these kind of movies, and they copied E.T. They copied Cosmo. No one watched that movie anyway, but like I'm gonna use the example regardless. They copied Enchanted, like you said. They copied the Smurfs movie. You get a weird creature from outer space. You try to save them from the government. Why? Because the government wants to do experiments on this strange creature because reasons. They don't explain it necessarily.
And in addition to that, like, you have Dr. Robotnik, unfortunately played by Jim Carrey. I love the guy, but I just feel sorry for him.
Controversial opinion, and I'm going to get chastised for this. I think he is past his prime. I hate to say this, and I hate to be this ageist prick, but he is older. His sense of comedy, especially evident in this film, has not aged well. Like, he goes for this whole, I'm the smarter one, so I'm superior to you shtick, like we haven't seen that a million times in the 90s or wherever. It's like, it's so over. Like, that's not the reminiscent of the comedy that we have now. Occasionally he's funny with, like, the no, thanks for asking quote. That was pretty funny. Aside from the fact that the plot line is basic and just regurgitated, the real reason why people are having issue with this, even if you're not a Sonic elitist where you were like, oh, he must have the conjoined eyes, or his arms must be, or his arms need to be the skin tone, or this, that. Like, even if you're not a Sonic elitist, you can admit He looks ugly in
No,
this.
he
Not
looks
just
creepy as
ugly.
all hell.
It's the same issue with those live-action movies like Scooby-Doo, Alvin and the Chipmunks, and the Smurfs. They take these cartoon characters, emphasis on the word cartoon, and they try to make them realistic. Now, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, they pull
Sometimes
out-
it works.
Yeah.
Okay, no, but anyway, the thing I wanted to say is even though, again, he doesn't look like his original design, which isn't a problem. Like, filmmakers...
Be creative.
Be creative.
Yeah.
Like,
yes,
Like
there
look at the Smurfs and look at the Peanuts movie. Like they're CGI, but there's still a cartoony flair to them.
and like with Scooby-Doo, it worked out because like he does still look like a dog with like slight cartoonish ways.
Yeah.
And he
And
looks,
also, like,
he
when
looks
it-
okay enough.
But
You know,
also
he
when
doesn't
it
look
came,
creepy.
But also, let's think about it. When that came out, that was good animation.
Okay,
for
it's
the time.
fair.
But
fair.
it's 2019.
Yeah.
Do better. But like again, doesn't look like the original. Not a problem. But it just looks bad. Like the motion capture technology was relied on too heavily. The proportions of his body does not match the proportion of his head.
No.
The head's just too big and the body's too small.
The mouth
Does
is
it-
creepy as hell.
The
was
mouth does
creepy.
not. The jaw of the mouth, the whole shape of the mouth, does not work for the skull.
And here's the thing. That would be fine if it was a cartoon, but this is trying to be realistic, so it
He
feels
looks like my
automatically.
sleep paralysis demon, and I have problems with that.
Hey, fucking men, I can't. I
Like,
can't.
whenever I see like his teeth and like him smiling, I just imagine those like creepy fish with like the realistic teeth. I'm like,
It's just
It's-
bad.
It's unappealing
It's
just
in
bad.
every
I
way.
get how they're like trying to do like is it gonna be like a complete like 180, and like with the rings in the beginning like that. Do you know what I mean? Like starting with the Paramount
that
thing.
was cute.
They're trying to do like an homage to the game, but it was like okay. Here's your homage to the game, people who stay in the game. Now, fuck you. We're gonna go off to this, like,
But again,
basic ass plot line.
Again, plot aside, like again, it's bad. I just think it's insane to me how people are just freaking out about the design, and then they took action. That has never happened before. But let's think about it in terms
like-
of like the future of
Yeah.
filmmaking. Here.
They did the same thing with Percy Jackson. Do you remember that? Like, everyone freaked out about it with the second film. Because the first film sucked.
Oh, it's
The
trash.
second film, no, the second film, they're like, you better not do this again. You better not do this again. Well, oh fuck, they did it again, only worse. And then they didn't make a third
Meh.
film because no one liked the first two.
But let's think about
And people
this in
complained
terms
about
of,
it.
let's think about this in terms of the future of filmmaking. If you ask me, and this is just my personal opinion,
Shoot.
there is a difference between an artist wanting to make a good film and a filmmaker looking to make money. In today's day and age, you need to have a bit of both in order to be totally successful.
Yeah.
You need to have the longing of trying to tell a good story and have the love for the art of filmmaking. And yet you also need to be a businessman and you need to also try to earn money.
Yeah.
That's just the reality of things. When you look at it from an artistic standpoint, though, it's very insulting to the artist to get criticism and just like feed into that criticism too much. You want to stand your ground. You want to have your own artistic integrity. But like when you look at it from a business standpoint, you want nothing more than to appease your critics. You want nothing more to appease your audience. When you look at it from like selling a product, you want that customer feedback. You want the customers to come in and tell you what's wrong with it so that
Yeah.
you can improve on it.
Yeah.
But this is a weird crossroads. Films have never been seen as another commodity as like a freaking vacuum cleaner would be or any or food or something. It's not a thing that yes, it is a thing you can own. You can own the DVD. But it's art. It's not just something that people can own. That's where you get into this interesting area. Are we, because audiences now have a much greater capability of voicing their opinions and ganging up on filmmakers, will filmmakers lose their integrity as artists to
Right.
submit to audience feedback before their films are even released?
Yeah,
to,
for all what we know, the next film Christopher Nolan makes, it gets so much backlash because it's so different from all his other movies. People would flip. They're like, no, I want the same thing. I want the same thing.
No, but like the difference between like Christopher Nolan and like other movies was like his pattern usually works, right? Do you know what I'm saying? So like if he changed it, it just wouldn't be his like signature pattern, his Christopher Nolan movie.
Now here's where I'm going to counteract that, where I'm saying like it's good for artists to get out of a pattern. It's good for
It's
artists.
good for them
yeah.
to get like out of the pattern.
Martin
but, like,
Scorsese did that with Hugo. It's like his most family-friendly film to date.
so like from a business point of view, it makes sense for an artist to get out of their comfort zone to try new things, you know, because if you do the same thing over and over again, psychology minor over here, you're going to lose your mind. You're going to go crazy, and you're going to be like, I can't do this anymore. I cannot make products anymore. I'm going to go crazy. But if stepping out of that comfort zone makes you lose money, and it makes you lose product, and it makes you lose customer service, then it's like, okay, so what do I choose? Do I choose serving a customer? Do I choose, like, giving the people what they want? Or do I choose, like, my own mental health, my own happiness? So, like, it's important for people to find the balance between, like, what they want to do and what the people want.
To piggyback off of what you're saying now, and Eli, you can definitely add in on this. Yes, you need to, when you're in that situation, you need to ask yourself, what's more important, what I want to do or what the audience wants to do?
So you need to find, like, a balance.
You're gonna still struggle. In this situation, the animators are still gonna
Yeah.
struggle.
Absolutely.
They're still gonna struggle on trying to recreate Sonic.
Yeah.
Because
And-
what was that one other project that they did that someone did recently that the animators had to work overtime? It was Sausage Party,
Yeah.
right?
In fact, let me mention this about Sausage Party. The thing about Sausage Party is that film wasn't delayed or anything, but like the animators behind that film had to work overtime.
So they weren't getting paid.
Well, no. In Canada, beforehand, they did not have an animation union, and they technically still don't.
Yeah.
But essentially, the thing with the animators on Sausage Party is that if they fought back against this, they would be like
lose their jobs.
uncredited and also blacklisted, and only 47 of the 83 animators that worked on
Made
the
it.
film got credited. Yeah. So
That's
one-
bullshit. Are you kidding?
Okay.
but one of the animators told Cartoon Brew about this, and then they did a full-scale investigation, and they found out about this. And 3 years later, Canada has finally worked out a compromise to unionize the animators and to pay them for their hard
So
work.
if we're gonna go down this route, right? We're gonna go down this narrative here. I feel like with that specific example, you can't really like stereotype like all.
I'm not stereotyping. I'm
She's just giving insight into another production in which animators need to work overtime. Like Sonic, they put out a release date, and now since they have to redesign the Hedgehog, animators are
It's
now
going
going to need
crap.
to bust their ass.
And the sad
Yeah.
thing is, animation cannot be altered the same as live action. Jeffrey Katzenberg thought he could simply edit the Black Cauldron during its production and nothing would
Yeah,
change.
ooh.
But that was
But
bad.
That
the
did not go
problem
well at
is,
all.
animation, once again, is structured very differently from live action, so anyway, the film had to be delayed, and it still turned out bad. Not to say the animation was bad, but the movie in general just sucked.
I
Like-
think if the employees who are like reanimating this like get like the benefits and get like paid for their service, then like it still sucks that they have to work overtime.
Well, if they're
Obviously.
getting paid, that's fine.
If they're
That's
getting paid,
any
it's
job.
great.
Exactly.
That's any
Awesome.
job.
Exactly.
That's
But, like,
any job,
and,
though.
like,
yeah.
if they don't pay them, then like fuck the like person who's like not paying them. Like that's like a whole other issue altogether.
Greg Tiernan!
Yeah, but that's what's the possibility. That's what can happen.
Yeah, that's like with like any service that can happen.
I want to go talk about like back to when we were talking about like making movies marketable, like the business side of movies.
Okay.
Well, let's look at Paramount, and somebody could absolutely correct me on this.
Ah.
They haven't had like a really major success in a little while.
Lies.
Oh.
They had A Quiet Place and Mission
Yeah.
Impossible Fallout.
Yeah.
Now,
Oh,
to
well,
be
then
fair-
I'm an idiot.
But to
then.
be fair,
Sorry.
to be fair, 2017 was not a good year for them because
No.
most of their films either underperformed or bombed, like the Ghost in the Shell remake, and even the fifth Transformers film did underperform compared to the others.
Yeah, and it seems as though like their biggest success was like back in like the 50s or so, and back in like the 20s when during the silent era.
No. They've had other big successes. Like
Yeah.
I can't name any off the top. of my
I'm
head.
not a film person.
They
You
aren't
gotta forgive
Sony.
me, people.
They aren't Sony.
No, Sony has made better business decisions these years.
That's debatable for me because I recently watched a very recent Sony horror movie that was the worst thing I've ever seen.
I
No.
personally-
Compared to that, most of their films like Spider-Verse.
No, that's like
other
this
films-
year though. I'm
Oh,
talking about
Spider
within the
Verse
most
was like I
recent
haven't
years.
seen it, but a lot of people are raving about it for good reason. I saw like
Yeah.
bits.
No, like no, this year Sony really like came back and like snatched them up. You know, good job for Sony. But like within the most like recent years, they fucked up pretty bad, and like they made a lot of really big.
Yeah, but
mistakes.
then they
they have.
rise from the ashes. It's
Exactly.
the same thing with DreamWorks.
Yeah.
You fuck up.
Oh,
you start
definitely.
You start off ugly. You
2015
start off ugly, and then you rise from the ashes. That's just what
2015 was a
happens.
terrible year for DreamWorks, and now they're totally fine.
But like the thing is that I'm fearing, right, is in my business tech class we learned like we use Sony as like an example of like a business starting from the bottom, they're rising up to the top.
Starting from the bottom.
No,
Now we're
yeah.
here.
Okay, and so like we used an example of that, right? But like my biggest fear for the company is that because of the Sonic thing, right? They're gonna and go back down to the bottom again. Because from a business perspective, I don't really think that their investors they're going to be very, very happy with them having to start over the film. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like it's not really going to be like
no, from a business standpoint.
From a business standpoint,
they're
no,
fucked
they are
altogether.
fucked.
They are
from a business
swole.
They
standpoint.
really are.
And the budget for the film is $90 million. They're going to add
They're
an
gonna go
extra $30
over
million.
budget, and because of like the investors, like think of it from like an investor's standpoint. Like you invested into this movie, you're losing $30+ million.
That movie, they were.
You're gonna be pissed, and like investors, I don't know if you know this, they talk, right? They talk to each other.
Oh yeah.
They talk.
They talk to each other.
Board of directors,
so people aren't going to want to invest into Sony anymore. Ever.
Sony?
Sega.
Paramount.
No, the person fucking making this film.
Paramount and Sega.
Paramount and Sega. Whatever. I'm just a dumb fuck who's blonde, so it's okay.
Gentlemen prefer blondes anyway, so.
But I'm also kind of gay, so.
Yeah, but you like men too.
Yeah.
It's
Anyway.
men is a gender. I know we forget.
Podcasts become.
It's the worst. I'm kidding. Kidding.
This broadcast has been brought to you
By
by
SJWs.
and gays.
Kidding.
We
We're
have
not
taken,
that SJW.
we have taken over the movies and the comics.
For
Which
you.
is a bad thing in of itself. When people get too offended about what goes on in film and they just complain about, like, that bothers me. Just relax, people. Relax. I completely forgot. I wanted to say something. I have this theory. Now, I'm not saying this is true, but going back over to the beauty community a little bit here, it has come to a lot of people's attention that a lot of the controversies that these influencers get into, especially with James Charles, the shit he gets into, they tend to, I don't know how, but apparently they make a lot of money off of this.
But Paramount's probably not going to profit off.
No, but here's what I'm saying. What if the possibility of them already having a design for Sonic that they know is going to work right, but they just presented a version of Sonic that they know was going to cause visceral anger just for the sake of publicity?
You know what? There's a very good chance that throughout the whole production of the film, they had done a majority of the film with that better design, but they released this trailer just to piss off people. Now, that could... I'm not
saying that's
hope.
what they're doing, but it could very well be the case, because, usually you don't find out about whether or not it was planned. If it is planned, kind of an asshole thing to do, but it worked, because everyone is talking about this, everyone is upset about this. Although, and I'm assuming that this isn't the case, I just hope that the redesign actually looks somewhat decent, because my thoughts are it's not going to look good at all. No. My theory.
It could look like... It could actually look cartoony, but it could look so cartoony that it's disgusting.
If they just fix the mouth, that's all I...
God.
Like, out of all the...
Sonic had plastic fucking surgery. That's what it looked like.
Well, too much plastic surgery. A little bit of plastic surgery is fine. I say this yet I desperately want to look like a plastic surgery monster when I'm older. I do. I want to be... When I'm older, I want to be one of those people that just has a shit ton of piercings and shit ton of plastic surgery and just look hideous. And have, like, those, like, 15-minute specials on YouTube talking about my extreme life. Like, stuff like that. I want to look like...
Don't look like the Ken doll, I'm okay.
No, I want to look like Amanda Lepore. I want to look like Pete Burns before he passed away. May he rest in peace. I want to look like these extreme versions of that. Like, just before I die. Not when I'm young, but, like, before I'm dead. So I can, have, my 15 minutes of fame before I'm dead.
No matter what you look like, you look a lot more appealing than that Sonic.
Amen.
But
Hallelujah.
So, yeah, I think that to sum this all up, unless Paramount knows what they're doing, which in this case they really don't, this movie's going to fuck them hard.
That, and also to sum up what I was saying earlier, it's just astounding to me how the movie industry is essentially in the same boat as the beauty industry or any other industry on social media, where their product, excuse you, bitch, their product is ultimately influenced directly from audience feedback and audience criticism via social media, and what this could possibly mean for filmmaking in the future.
Yeah, and the thing is, film is one of the most cherished commodities out there. Like,
very true.
If you I would even say it's more cherished than beauty. This is not to say beauty doesn't have.
Excuse me, bitch.
This is not. This isn't to say that beauty doesn't have like a massive following. It does. But the thing is, if you were to ask the
community, the beauty community doesn't have nearly as big of a following as film. Rightfully so, because it's like it should just be its like little own thing. Filmmaking, especially because it's vast and has so many different genres and have so many different techniques is across the board for everyone. It's a mass form of entertainment.
But anyway, my overall point is that considering the overall like worldwide acclaim that film has, this Sonic trailer, like, it could cause mass hysteria on social media, and this would never happen, but it could potentially cause the next big internet crash. You never know.
I wouldn't say internet crash, but like I will agree that like the internet does not usually band together to all like hate something.
I mean, it happens, but like not to this extent.
Not to this extent. Not often.
This is major. Like, this is insane.
We don't usually band together to like simultaneously hate something to the same degree or like varying degrees.
But like, we can all admit when something's
this
ugly.
usually happens with like regarding race or politics or like SJW shit and like not innocent like stuff.
Well, I don't know.
Movies.
Yes and no about that. Usually people take sides and people band together on that side.
Yeah.
In this situation, everyone is on the same side.
Yeah.
This never happens to the internet.
The people that are out there saying, oh, they actually like the way this film looks or they're okay with
lying.
this film looks, they're the minority. I will actually admit there are one or two little frames in which Sonic doesn't look terrible.
There's a few shots.
But overall, he looks crap. He looks like crap.
There's a few parts, I will admit, where their hard work had paid off. Like, specifically, like, so some of the action shots. And I'm not going to lie, the freeze frame joke was kind of humorous. But, yeah, like, everyone's problem with this trailer, it's not just the fact that song looks hideous. It's not just the fact that Jim Carrey is miscast. It's not even the fact that James Marsden is in it. It's that everything it offers would not please anybody. Anybody.
Yeah.
Not the Sonic community, not the family film audience. Just nobody. And that's why it ultimately fails. So yeah, that's basically all that we have to say, folks. What are your thoughts on the upcoming Sonic the Hedgehog movie? Or better yet, what are your thoughts on the trailer? Do you hate it as much as we do? Or do you think there's actually some redeeming value to it? Which, I will admit, there could be some redeeming value to it. Not a whole lot, but maybe they showed the worst of it, and maybe the rest of the movie's just going to be meh at best. But anyway, that's basically it. I will see you guys later. Hopefully I can get you two bitches to come back one day.
Of course.
But either way, take care until then, folks. Mm-hmm. And until then, catch you on the flip side. Got anything to say before we head off?
Bye. I'm not exciting.
If you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you going to love somebody else? Can I get an amen up in here?
Hallelujah!
Amen, amen,
Hallelujah.
amen.
RuPaul's transphobic. Goodbye.
Bye.